this one bus join the thousands of buses down in Jena, Louisiana, that they know that Birmingham is in the house, and that we bring with us a history, a legacy of fighting, successfully fighting for change. And for that, I give each and every one of y'all a round of applause. Y'all have a safe trip. Yeah.
They came by the thousands, marching, chanting. Turning a tiny, nondescript southern town.
Don't let them get too distracted. Everybody help us master this.
Into the site of one of the largest civil rights demonstrations the nation has seen in years.
It's come too far just to stand up under the tree. It's time for us to move from action.
You're from San Diego. Why are you here in Jena, Louisiana? I'm here because I think it's a human rights issue for everyone. This doesn't have to do with, color and classism are present everywhere in our nation. It's not only in Jena, Louisiana. It's all over. It's all over the United States, and we need to change it. We need to do something about it. So that's what I'm here.
There was a hate crime perpetrated here, and unless we wake up and know that hanging nooses on a tree isn't a prank, it is a hate crime, and it harkens back to lynching. And if you're threatening people with that kind of violence, there needs to be repercussions. And if the school had taken the right actions, if the city government had taken the right actions, it never would have escalated to violence. And this town and our country needs to wake up to the reality of racism, and we need to work together to change it.
This is a movement for all people. I think everyone should be offended. Like you said, this was a hate crime that took place. This is not just about black people. It's about everyone here, and us all standing together, taking a stand against what happened here, and recognizing that this should not be allowed to happen, and that it has to stop.
The U.S. Attorney said he had no grounds to file federal hate crime charges against the kids who hung the nooses. But he does understand the emotion fueling this rally for the Jena 6. Has this been blown out of proportion?
To a degree, I believe so, yes.
I spoke with Donald Washington earlier in the week.
If you're not careful, you can overpaint that. I would not compare the two incidents myself. Again, I'm putting on my hat as a federal prosecutor. The two incidents are separate incidents.
Do you think there's a double standard here with regard to the justice system?
It is standard to charge, a first-time fight type deal, if it's truly a fight where people are actually in some type of contest against each other and one's not unconscious, that you do go on the low end of the scale. Michael Bell, as of December the 4th, has already had at least 4 simple batteries, one of which he's currently on probation for. So I think it appropriate for the prosecutor to look upon that, even if it were the same kind of fight that occurred on December the 1st, as well. What do I do with Michael Bell? Do I give him the 5th simple battery, or do I go to some other crime that's a little bit more rigorous that I can charge based upon these facts? I think a district attorney is well within his right to do that if that's what he wants to do. That's not to say that I would do it, but he's certainly well within his rights to do that.
Tina Jones' son, Brian Purvis, is one of the Jena 6. She's sent him to live with relatives near Dallas until his trial.
All I can do is tell him I love him all the time. Because I feel less than a mother because, I'm not able to do, the things that a mom normally do, for their son because he's gone, and that breaks my heart.
What about Justin Barker, the white student who was the victim of the attack? Several months after the beating, he was expelled for bringing a shotgun on school grounds. He has since dropped out of school. U.S. Attorney Donald Washington underscored the viciousness of the attack.
The victim, I understand, has encountered several thousands of dollars of medical expenses. The hitting and the kicking with the tennis shoe was much more devastating than most of us would have anticipated. I doubt if anybody in this room would know what it feels like to be unconscious and to have someone stand on your head while other people are kicking you.
What will happen in Jena after all the attention dies down, after everyone leaves? It very much depends on who you ask.
I think that what we have to do to move forward is learn the lessons of the past. I do believe that we will learn lessons from it and benefit from what we've experienced here in Jena.
Tina Jones is worried. Once all the media leaves, this goes away, dies out, what's Jena, Louisiana going to be like?
This may become a very uncomfortable place for us to live, so, we might have to think about leaving, because, they feel like, things may get worse after the media leaves. So.
Cleveland Riser, for one, somewhat hopeful.
I applaud this kind of shop, that we will grow from this much faster than had this not occurred. Until this silence has been broken in response to a current type of event happening, then I don't know how long it's going to take.
Pastor Eddie Thompson.
I have concern that our ministers, once this is all passed and the decisions have been made, are going to be left with picking up the pieces in terms of race relations. And I want to see our town come together, and it's still a ways away. We're going to have to go through these trials, it seems, before we can start working that process again.
Washington believes Jena should have reacted in a far different manner when those nooses were hung more than a year ago.
I think what most people are very disappointed about it is that there was nothing else sort of said about it. There was nothing else done. There was no very vocal and very outspoken leadership in this area that said, this is a very heinous, very horrific thing that has occurred in our community. Let's get together and figure out ways to avoid this in the future.